Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can I be heard, please? I think I'll give it like a minute or two so that more people can join in. But please just drop a reaction if you can hear me. All right. So, welcome to TDC. This is the Development Conversations, and this is the third webinar. So, welcome to our series. It's so nice to have you here, and we are really happy to have you. So, if you don't mind, if you're in a place where you can, please turn on your camera for a while so that we can see each other. And if you can as well, please just drop in the chat box your name and where you're from so that everybody can know each other. I would really look forward to that. And I would like to give a special shout out to Ella and I. Today's her birthday, so can we all just say happy birthday to Ella? I think towards the end of the webinar, we're going to do that as well. So, Ella, happy birthday. We love you so much from the Development Conversation. So, also, today's webinar is titled Rest, Reflect, and Recharge. And now we know that this is towards the end of the year where people would normally face burnout and all sorts of things. So I think this webinar is really, really timely. So thank you all so much for taking out time from your busy schedules. I'm so thrilled to welcome you to today's webinar. And it's so nice to see professionals from all over Nigeria. I don't know if you're out of Nigeria. Please just drop your name and your location in the chat box so that we'll know that. And I'd like to specially welcome our guest for today. So we have Adaeze Ugoje. I hope I got that pronunciation right. You're very welcome. We are pleased to have you. And we also have Sarah and Guy. You're very welcome. We're happy to have you at the Development Conversations. And of course, we have our host. We have Toby Ransomed, and she is really happy to have you here as well. We'll be hearing from her a bit later. So, this is the third webinar for the development conversations. We had the first, the second, and these webinars have been really exciting. And I'm particularly looking forward to this third webinar titled Rest, Reflect, and Recharge. So basically, it's year end strategies for sustainable growth. So, you're welcome once again. I look forward to hearing back from us. I haven't seen anything yet. Um, okay, okay. I'm opening the chat box up now. So I can see John Christopher Ude from Lafia, Nasarawa State. You're very welcome, sir. We're happy to have you here. Who else can I see? I can see Ibrahim Shelia from Maiduguri, Borno State. We're very happy to have you. You're welcome. Emanuela and I, happy birthday once again. You are welcome. I'm sure we're expecting so many other people who have not yet dropped their names. So please, as soon as you can, drop it. And so, my name is Angel Moji, and I'm welcoming you all to our webinar series for today. So, I'm handing over to Emanuela, who is going to, sorry, Ella and I, who is going to take it over from here. Thank you all. Okay, sorry, there are a couple of more people I have not welcomed yet. So, there is Maureen Alor from Abuja. There is Wabani Gadzama. I hope I pronounced your name properly from Abuja. You're welcome. And then there's Zendi Darret from Benue State. You are also very welcome, and we're so thrilled to have you here. So Ella, thank you very much. Handing over to you. Justina Agaji from Abuja, you are welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Mamudu from Mali, you're welcome. We're very excited to have you here. Bondi from Abuja. Is it Bondi? I hope I pronounced it well. You're welcome. We're also excited to have you here. Wow, I can also see Nina Lami Ode from Lagos. You're very welcome. Pleased to have you here.
Hi, Angel.
Hi, Angel.
Hi, Ella.
I don't know. For some reason, my laptop connection is giving an issue with my microphone. So, welcome everybody. Good afternoon. Um, for this is I'm really grateful. Thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. Um, as the year winds down, we need to get up caught up with different things. Okay, so that's why we are having this webinar. And this time we're going to be having a quick ice breaker. Okay. So we've prepared so many things. We also have a quiz um to keep us busy in this session. So for our icebreaker, let's quickly get on with things. I just want everybody to just get busy with the chat box, okay? And just write down one word that sums up your year. You can just generalize it. One word that sums up your year, you know, if you just reflect on your year and everything, how it has been, what's one word you can use? Some people can say growth, some can say balance. So tell me, what's one? Oh, wow, thank you. Roller coaster. I can imagine it's been up and down, right? Good and bad. That's life. Healing, feeling blessed. Yes. Growth. It has been a lot. Balance, resilience. Okay, there's so many things we can growth. Yes, thank you. Yes, I mean it's practically the same thing for everybody. If you want to, because most people writing growth is not as if you know that like within that growth you are going to like go through so many emotional roller coasters. So yes, this year definitely been stretching. Angel, that's the right. I think that's the right term. Busy. Yes, every day is like a busy day. You just wake up one day. I mean, it was just January, like last week. I'm just saying. So yes, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. So quickly moving on, I'll be as everyone okay. Trust me, Maureen, you can say it. Or if there's another word for roller coaster, because I think everybody has been going through the same thing, especially with this our government in Nigeria. So yes, it has been a lot. It has been a lot. But we're all grateful to end the year. We're all grateful. And this webinar is literally what we need right now. We need to rest. We need tips on how we can rest, reflect, recharge, and like just take care of our well-being, emotional health, physical well-being too, while still being productive. Oh, can you hear me? Can everybody
Yes,
hear me?
yes, go on, Ella. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because someone said it's not being audible. Okay. Okay. So yes, to take us further in this webinar, I'll be inviting Maureen for our activity. Maureen, are you ready?
Hi, Ella. Yes,
Yeah,
I
thank
am.
you.
Actually, I'm ready. But I actually thought the quiz session is going to be after the
Yes.
this part. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
It's
it's
going to be
towards the
that.
end.
All
It's
right.
towards the end of the webinar.
we changed that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
So I'm
Well, it's
handing
your
over to
birthday,
Toby.
Ella, and so we forgive you.
Please
Good
promise
afternoon,
me.
everyone. It's really good to have you. Thank you, Ella, and thank you to the wonderful team. Yes, the birthday girl is really allowed to just, just go with the flow. It has been an interesting year for us. And if you have not already like wound down or even started taking a break or something like that, I'm sure you are in the mood. I personally was supposed to take my leave from the 23rd, but after my body started telling me it is time to take a break, I had to negotiate with my land manager and just move it closer. So you're welcome. I'm going to get right into it. Can you confirm that you can see my screen so that I can quickly introduce our guests? So if you can let me know that you can see my screen. All right, thank you very much. So like Angel rightly said, our topic for today is rest, reflect, recharge, year-end strategies for sustainable growth. And the reason behind this session today and the topic is because a lot of times as development workers, quite a number of us are very passionate and committed to our work. And also we are faced with the enormous challenges within our sector. And so there's that tendency to just want to keep going and keep giving your all without taking time to rest. And even when we are forced to take a break, some of us struggle with actually taking proper breaks. So what is rest exactly? And then coming to the point of reflection, why do we need to reflect, so that we can be better practitioners? And then how do we recharge for the new year? So let us not all get caught up in dirty December. It is very important that we are actually like, properly resting, reflecting and recharging so that in the coming year we are at our best. So you're welcome and thank you for taking out the time. We have our speakers with us. Some of you are not strangers to Nwanyibuife, Adaeze, Ugoje. I hope I did better than Angel. She's a Prince 2 certified project management specialist, and she's the founder and CEO of DYGL Africa. Her background, she has over 15 years of experience managing and executing projects worth over 75 million across the healthcare, education, tech, gender, and justice sectors. She has expertise in project scaling, multi-stakeholder workshop facilitation, capacity building for teams and professionals across multiple African countries. One thing that stands out to me when I engage with Adaeze is the fact that she's very passionate about well-being. I remember one of the meetings that she organized where it was focused on well-being for women. And so we're really happy to have her. Some of her key achievements include partnering with government and international organizations across 10 countries, impacting over 6,000 people to drive positive behavioral change. Please let us put our hands together as we welcome Adaeze today. And also, she's not a stranger to us at TDC. And then our next speaker is Sarah Gloria Angai. She's a HR leader and development specialist. She has experience with a strong focus on fostering inclusive, supportive workplace culture across diverse regions. She specializes in promoting mental health, staff engagement, and standardized HR practices. She's also skilled in managing large teams, collaborating across departments, and aligning organizational values with effective people management and process improvement. Some of our key achievements is a master's in international human resource management, passionate mentor and dedicated to nurturing and supporting the next generation of HR professionals. And she has successfully driven initiatives that prioritize employee welfare and well-being. Please let us put our hands together for Sarah. Can I see the reactions, the chat box? Let us welcome them. They've taken out the time to actually, to make our time, to come to us for today's meeting. So you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I want to add them to the spotlight. It is so good to have all of you together. Thank you so much. I have worked with Sarah also in one of the organizations I worked in, and I can attest to the fact that everything that is in her bio is actually who she is and much more. And so, welcome to this wonderful meeting today. Let me see if I can. Let me add spotlight. Okay, so Ella, I know you're a co-host. I'm wondering if you can also support us with spotlighting anyone that is speaking or something like that. And so to open the floor, we're going to have Adaeze just share her thoughts today. Thank you. Over to you, Adaeze.
Thank you so much, Toby, and it's good to be with everyone. Good afternoon. When Toby said I should come on to speak about rest, I was really excited because I love rest. I think maybe I even love it a little bit too much, but that's a story for a different day. Okay, so just when it comes to rest, I love to always start by sharing that rest is not a luxury. I think the way the world has packaged rest these days, it seems like it's something that is almost vilified. Like, why are you resting? You'll sleep when you're dead. Or team, no sleep. Or life is about hustle, 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 hustle now. Because you need to get everything now before it's too late. And I think that's so dangerous. And the reason I say that is because everything I believe about work and rest is directly linked to my faith life. So just as an advance notice, I'm going to be speaking from the point of somebody who is doing her best to live out the core values of her faith life. So I'm a Christian. And what I believe when it comes to work and rest is that it was designed by God in a particular way. I mean, in the beginning, and indulge me, I'm going to go into the Bible here just a little bit. In the beginning, right, God designed it where he actually created the world in 6 days. And then he kept a separate day, the seventh day, for rest. And there's a word he called it that stands out to me. He said he made it the Sabbath day and it was holy. So holy means something is sacred, something is important. It should be seen as necessary. So why have we deviated so much now that when it comes to the idea of rest, sometimes there's this sense of guilt. How can I rest? Kai, my competition is not resting. And I think it's a hustle culture that has really permeated into our lives. And I don't blame anyone because it's a cultural thing. It's being passed to us in media, it's being passed to us, whether it's through friends or social settings or work settings. It's that sense of we're all these crabs in a barrel trying to fight for our own achievements and our own accolades, right? And so I want to take you to a very specific example to you. And I want to explain to you why I really find rest important. So let's go beyond just talking about it in theory. Let's take it into practical sense. Now, I would say maybe it was 2016. I was leading a program, a public health program. And I had about maybe 8 direct reports, people that directly reported to me. Then I had about 100 plus indirect reports. So people that were working in the field that reported to my 8 direct reports who were reporting to me. And I remember the kind of person I was all those years ago. I was a very, very anxious person. And I had this need to please. It was this need to really show and prove that I knew my stuff. I knew what I was doing. I'm a good program manager. So I would even dare say I had a good amount of imposter syndrome. I probably didn't think I fully belonged in that role. So because of that, I was constantly overcompensating. Now, I did my work well because I got positive reviews. And of course, I got areas for correction and improvement. But in general, I had done my work well enough that I was getting promoted consistently during that period. And then I got into that role, a program manager role. And I really gave it my all. And the problem was I went beyond giving it my all. I started giving it what I didn't even have. So I tried so hard to implement our projects well, to manage our teams well, that I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't able to eat. If I ate, I wasn't able to retain any weight on my body. I wish I could show you a picture of what I look like. You would probably gasp. Like I looked like I was skin and bones. I literally looked like I was dying away. And in my mind, I just kept thinking, this is what I have to do. I must prove myself. I must do better than the others around me that maybe are trying to possibly even enter into my role. Funny thoughts come into your head when you're in a high pressure role. So I had all these odd thoughts in my mind. So I was just trying to overcompensate, overprove myself. And I was delivering. So deliverables were happening, right? I was submitting my deliverables. But the problem is that I was delivering and I was dying at the same time. But I wasn't fully aware of it until a few things happened. One day I was in our office and someone had seen me, one of the field workers that reports to one of my direct reports. And there's something he said that I don't forget. He looked at me and he said, "What is wrong?" And I said, "What do you mean what's wrong? Everything is fine." And he said, "No, you don't look well. What is wrong?" And I remember he said it, and I just made note of it. Then a second colleague saw me. This is now one of my direct reports, one of the 8. And he saw me and he said, Ada, something is not, you're not looking well. Oh." I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" Because me, I thought I was looking good in my mind. I was looking fresh. And he's like, "No, you're not looking well." He's like, "Are you sure everything is okay?" So I also made note of that. That was person number 2. Then my manager, and I will always say, God bless my manager, because there's nothing like having a manager that cares about you as a human being. So my manager also saw me that same day that my direct report saw me later on. And she looked at me and said, No. I don't know what's going on, but go home. Go home for 2 weeks. I said, "No, I can do it. I'm fine. Nothing is wrong with me. We have a very, very huge implementation happening right now." And it was across 8 countries who are implementing an application, a tech app that was going to help with disease surveillance across 8 countries in West and Central Africa. So I was very particular. No, I must be available. I must be on board. My manager said, "Get out of here. Take your bags and leave." That was for 2 weeks. So when she said that, at the time I was living in Kano. Our office was in Kano, and we also have an office in Abuja at the time. So I came to Abuja because my parents live in Abuja, and I was going between Kano and Abuja. And I came into my parents' home. And the 4th person now that I believe God sent to me to explain to me the importance of rest was my aunt, my favorite aunt, my mother's sister. So she happened to be in the house that day, and she saw me in the room. I think I had gone to clean up, use the restroom, come out. And so she saw me. So she was able to see my skeletal frame because I was wearing a towel. I had just used the bathroom. So she looked at me and she said, "Adaeze, I don't know what's going on." Adaeze is my middle name. "I don't know what's going on with you, but whatever it is, you need to be aware that you're dying in front of me." So when she said that, I said, "Eh?" And I think it finally clicked because she was the 4th person now calling me out on what was happening. And so I just broke down. I just started crying and weeping because even I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to admit it and I didn't understand what to do about it. So I remember she looked at me and she said, "Whatever it is, I don't know what job this is. I don't know what type of money it is that you're hustling for, but whatever it is, it ends today." She said, "If you cannot do this job and still thrive as a human being, then you must leave that job now." So when she said that, she now prayed over me. And it's like I got a lift in my spirit. And then that evening, she took me to church. And she and I went to a church service. And I never forget just feeling lighter. We went to a Catholic church service. So I was listening to the hymns that were being sung. I listened to the word by the pastor, by the priest, and I was just blessed that night. And something changed in me that night. So I didn't quit the job. But what happened is that I quit that belief that it was do or die for me. That night, I quit that belief. And that same night, surprisingly, after we came back from church, my aunt looked at me and said, "I'm happy to tell you that I am now seeing life returning to you. That after we've gone to church and come back, I am literally seeing light and life return back into you." So fast forward to like maybe 6 months later, and then I'm transferred to Abuja. And I'm no longer, you see that high-powered role? I was no longer in that role. I took a different one. I was actually not even I was put into a different one. So I got into a different one. It wasn't as high pressured, and I was able to begin to thrive again. My mind was lighter. I told myself, this is not do or die. Do your best because excellence is required. I will never talk against excellence. So do your best. But excellence also gives room for rest. So one of my managers, not the one that sent me home, but another manager had seen me those 6 months after. And this is a guy now. And he saw me, and he and I don't really talk like that. Like, we're not really that friendly. But he saw me, so he's not really my direct manager, just somebody that's in a role senior to me. So he saw me and he said, wow, you are dying in Kano. You've come alive again. So a second person that confirmed what my auntie said. I don't even think he knew what he said when he said it. So I say all this to say that the only reason I can be here talking to you about rest is because I didn't die in 2018, attempting to hustle my way into success. So please, when it comes to rest, don't see it as a luxury. It's not just after you have burnt yourself out that you rest. Rest should be part of how you plan your life. The same way you're planning your work schedule for the week, the same way you are planning what you're going to do, your deliverables. Plan your deliverable of rest, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it is getting ample sleep, whether it is taking time to journal and meditate, whether it is reflection periods of, again, journaling, meditating, how has your week been? What do I need to course correct? What do I need to do to improve how situations are going? Whether it is going to get a deep tissue massage, me, I consider that rest. I love it. Whether it is listening to music, having a dance party in your home, or even during the day, taking breaks and just having like a little music fest. Maybe you put your earphones in at work when you're on your lunch break, have some music playing that soothes your soul. But whatever it is, please, please don't see rest as luxury. That is a lie. Whoever told you that is lying to you. You can't be productive if you didn't rest. Rest affects your brain. If you're burnt out, you're not able to think well. You're not able to actually problem solve well. So what use are you going to be to the people that you're refusing to rest for? So yeah, just my 2 cents on rest.
Wow.
And
Oh wow, this was so good. This was so good. And thank you so much. Thank you for also highlighting the fact that, there's a place for excellence. Like excellence is very important, but also excellence makes room for rest. So we're going to go dive right into the questions. So Ada, you have started, you have opened the floor. And so like now, after this experience, how do you prioritize rest in your personal and professional life, especially like in high pressure roles? Because I want to I want to believe that you're still working. It might not be as high as that high pressure as the former one, but how do you manage it and prioritize rest in your personal and professional life?
okay, so when it comes to prioritizing rest, there are a few things. One word I became very comfortable with is no, no. I used to be terrified of saying no to anybody or anyone. If you tell me, oh, here's another work package for you to do, you did A, B, and C so well, take on D, E, and F, I would never say no. Because in my mind, if I said no, it means I'm showing that I'm weak. I'm showing that I can't handle it. But I couldn't handle it. So what was I trying to prove by pretending to anyone? I could do my A, B, C, D, and E well, but if you try to give me F, G, H, I might break down and I might not make it. So I've become very comfortable with the word no. In fact, I say no now much easier than I say yes. I'll say a quick no before I ever say a yes. And that came from an article I read that my manager sent me, the manager that told me to go home for 2 weeks. She sent me an article that had said the art of saying no. And in the article, it says, you have to be able to know what your yeses are so that when it's time to say no, it's not difficult for you. So I'm very big on prioritizing what are the key deliverables I must achieve. And sorry, that's my toddler in the background in case you're hearing. What are the key deliverables I must achieve? What are the key project goals I must be involved in? The one that I must do, that's a non-negotiable, that's what I prioritize. Everything else that is not a must for me, I will find a way to delegate it to the rest of our team, or I will find a way to simply decline and say, not at this time, maybe later on, when my plate is not as full as it is right now. So I'm big on juggling and shifting priorities, but always knowing that in whatever season I'm in, whatever priority I have at that time, I must be clear what it is so that I know that I should say yes to the priorities and I can freely say no to everything else. But there's a catch to that, because once you start saying no, it gets a bit offensive to people. And it's just the truth. Some people don't like when you say no. And you can't blame them. It's possible that they're used to you always saying yes. So why would they want you to start saying no now? Or they also just believe that rest isn't mandatory. So you also have to be somebody who builds your confidence when it comes to saying no. Saying no has a cost. with everything in life, there's an opportunity and a cost. Saying no has a cost. You might displease some people. You might lose out on some opportunities. You might lose out on some promotional opportunities. It's just true. So you have to ask yourself, what do you value? What capacity do you have? What can you manage? And you make your yeses and nos based on that. But yeah, I'm big on saying no. It's I like the word a lot now. And then also, I really love to humanize myself. So I think something that happens for us in the development space is that sometimes there comes this complex of the superhero development worker or the superhero manager. But I'm very aware now more than ever that I'm not a superhero. I never was and I don't intend to be. What I am is a human being who wants to do her work excellently well. I want to make an impact in any field I'm in. And I want to work with other like-minded people who are also excellent, who also care about impact. And together we can do excellent, fantastic things. I think it's very much an ego thing when we believe, oh, only me can do this. I'm the only one that can do this. I'm the only one that can make this happen. I'm not. If I'm not here, the next person can do it. As long as they have passion and they have qualifications, they can get it done too. So I'm very much aware of my humanity, and I like to operate from that point of view. I don't want anybody to be deceived. When anybody says things like, oh, you are so this, I'm like, I'm human. I'm human doing the best I can do. Once I do the best I can do, I literally leave the rest for God to do and for everybody else. So yeah, so that's how I try my best. And then when it comes to actually,
Wow.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
See, Adaeze is passionate about this because when you meet somebody that has gone through the trenches, they're happy to just go on and on and on. Thank you so much. Prioritize, delegate, say no. And also, I love the fact that you keep hammering on the importance of showing up and showing up excellently, but also humanizing ourselves. So, Sarah, we're going to be hearing your voice now. So, Sarah, my question to you is that many development practitioners feel guilty when taking time off. How can we shift the mindset from seeing rest as a luxury to viewing it as a necessity? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here and to be having this conversation. And interesting what Adaeze has been talking about. It's like we compared notes at some point, but hearing what she's saying and my perspectives as well. So let's think about this a little bit. But before I move on, let me just add one point to what Adaeze was talking about in the first question. And for me, I would like to call out line managers. Okay, I'm happy she talked about the line managers that she has had. Amazing. If you are a line manager here, please, you have a responsibility towards your team to help them know that they need to rest. Support them, give them tips, let them take the time off. Don't make it look like you're doing anybody a favor before you approve their leave, And what I think is that honor and respect your time is the way you honor and respect the time of others, period. That's how I view it. So if you don't respect your time, you'll disrespect mine as well. So line managers, sorry, but I'm calling you out. Please let us do better to support our team. So on the question that you have asked me about, feeling guilty when taking time off, I think that a lot of it, in my opinion, stems from the fact that we tie our identity to our jobs. It's like, if you take away this job, I am nothing. My purpose, my self-worth, everything comes from my job. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So it then happens. And to be honest, I have been there for a very long time. I would be at home on the weekend and I can't relax. I can't watch a movie. I can't go out. I'm thinking about work. Why? Because I felt like I had to prove something. I felt like I needed to get to the top. I felt like, it's a rat race. I'm chasing things. I'm chasing all of that. So I feel like there has to be a perspective shift where you don't tie your worth to your job. You are more than that. And I love how you started, Adaeze, when you said about God. I'm also a believer. And I totally believe that I am Imago Dei, created in the image. And if I'm created in the image, I do have like a blueprint of what my maker is. And my maker has rested. So what am I chasing that is more than what he has done? He created the entire universe in 6 days. And then, what am I doing? So for me, rest is modeled after who I am, first of all. And then the second thing is um, how how we view it. As you did say, Adaeze, that rest is not a luxury. It is also not a reward. It is not that I have done so much, hence I need to rest. No, rest is a normal part of being human. The same way you don't come and excitedly tell people, oh, I was hungry and then I ate food, because it's natural, it's normal. So why do we make rest look like it is one glorified thing? It is not. It is a human function that we all need to do. So if we do not prioritize it, if we do not see it from that perspective, we'll continue to feel like it is something great, it is something luxurious. And we're familiar with this saying that the reward for hard work is what? There's nowhere where it says that is rest. It says it's more work, right? So it then means that it's rest is assumed. You know what I mean? Rest is assumed because you're a human being. You're not a machine. You're not a robot. So rest is assumed. That's why the reward for hard work is not rest. It is more work, because the more you keep working, the more people want to load you up. But if you do not prioritize yourself and give yourself time to breathe and give yourself time to recuperate, you will just keep piling and piling and piling, and things get worse. The other thing is view rest from the perspective of productivity. Okay? Typically, I can get by with sleeping for 6 hours each day. I can get by with that. If you meet me on a day that I sleep for 4 hours, I'm practically useless. I'm practically useless. And if you reflect on your life, you know that there are maybe you sleep for 8 hours, and if you don't get that, you just struggle. It's just a day that just becomes very difficult for you. So if you think about rest from the productivity angle, where if I'm rested, I am able to produce more. It changes your mindset, and then you don't feel so bad when you are taking time for yourself. You don't feel so bad when you're going out with your friends for a movie to relax and things like that. So those are some of the things that I feel we can start doing, changing our perspective, recognizing who we are, making sure that our identity isn't tied to our jobs, and making sure that we see rest from the perspective of productivity and not just as a reward for work. I would say this, and I'll leave you with this: rest enhances productivity. It is not a reward for productivity.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, there are so many more, I'm sure that you would want to share, but thank you so much. This has been so valuable. And so I'm going to quickly move on to reflection, right? Because we've spent a lot of time talking about rest, and then let's look at the issue of reflection. Adaeze, from your experience and also from your wealth of knowledge, how can development practitioners create spaces for honest self-assessment and reflection amidst busy schedule? So now we want to see reflection not just from the lens of waiting till the end of the year for reflection, or even waiting when we're on leave. How can this be a practice? How can we put it in our busy schedule? Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. Well, I would say check-ins. I'm a big lover of check-ins, whether it's with yourself or with your teams, and making it a routine thing. So possibly making it like weekly check-ins just to see how things are going. If it's with your team, right? How is everything going with the project? How are you doing personally in terms of achieving your goals for the project? Do you have any challenges? Do you need support? Things like that. I really, really love weekly check-ins with your teams because it helps you catch issues on time and helps you support them as they need support as they're going along. Then for yourself and your own self-assessment, I'm also big on reflection, but it doesn't have to necessarily be weekly. It can be monthly, it can be every quarter, whichever way you prefer. But the idea would be that you literally take stock of what is happening at that time in your life, both personally and professionally. So what you could do is, and what I like to do sometimes is just take maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, or a 4 hour block of time and reflect on what has happened in the last quarter. Let's say I'm doing this on a quarterly basis. Reflect on what has happened in the last quarter in my personal life, professional life, get my journal out, take notes. I'm very big on if you don't document, you'll forget. That's just Misha. So I'll get out the journal, I'll take notes, what went well, what didn't go well, what can be better. That simple standard really helps a lot, whether you're reflecting as for yourself or reflecting with your team when it comes to project work and program work. So I would say that just continuous check-ins with yourself and with your team. And you can make it as routine as you like and as frequent as you like, but just make it where it doesn't happen only at the end of the year. Let it be as you're going along.
Thank you very much. So making reflection like a part of our lives, like doing what do you call it, making it a routine. And I like the fact that you give the option of it being either weekly, either monthly or quarterly. I think for those of us that want to start this practice, we can start at a slower pace and just blocking out the time. I like the fact that you also started with talking about, talking about your team, how you have weekly check-ins. We usually have weekly check-ins because we know that it is important to touch base with our team members to track what we're doing and our implementation. And if we carry that and just view ourselves and take ourselves as important, you understand that, okay, I myself, I am an organization, I am a team. I need that time with myself to actually reflect and see how far I am going or how far I am doing and the likes of it. So thank you. Sarah, this question is for you. Reflecting on your journey this year, what is one key lesson you learned that changed how you approach your work?
The interesting lesson that I have learned is that it can all fail. Okay. So yes, if you are the type of person who reflects, plans, double check your plans, journal, keep dates, you can do all of that and you can still fail. And it is at that moment that you're tested in who you are as a person. So this year, that happened to me. So at the end of the year, usually in December, I sit down, I look at the year, I say, okay, this is what has happened. Coming into the new year, these are the things that I would like to do. So I did all of that. So I had my very beautiful plan and everything was going on accordingly until we got to June, and then everything just collapsed on its head. And I was at a standstill, and I had to go back into myself and rediscover myself. So I'm not saying it's not good to plan, but my point is we have to plan out for when things don't go our way. You see what I mean? You have to be ready, because that is the test of resilience. And I'm happy when I saw the people describing their year with the words, and some people there said roller coaster, because that is what life is. It is about ups, it is about downs, and those are the things that really. So for me personally, it's been about midway through, and I know I'm not finishing my sentences, but midway through, after what happened in June, by October, I had to go back again and develop a fresh plan, a different plan from the one that I had, because obviously I can't do that one. It has already failed, so I had to start afresh. So sometimes it takes you doing that. The second thing is, how do we view failure, right? How do we view what we call failure? I have a friend that says we win or we learn, okay? So we need to use our experiences to teach us what we need to learn and then move on from them. If you stay for so long looking at all the things that have gone wrong, it's difficult for you to move on. And for me, it is very critical that you're able to get back, because that is what really matters. We can't control the things that happen to us. What we can control is how we react to them. And that is an important lesson that I'm still learning up till now, that what has happened to me is not what I planned for, but I have to find a way to move on any which way. And I feel like that is very critical. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Like this is so important. I know that it's like when you're growing up, or if you're someone that probably has been a star student, especially when you're growing up, you're not used to failing, and then you grow up, and then even at home, people just be pampering you and say, "Oh, you're the star, you're the best in the world," and then you now grow up, and then you see that life is not like that. And I think it's such an important lesson for us to actually know how to respond to failure and see it through the lens of learning, and also dealing with the pain and hurt and disappointment that comes with that. Thank you so much for sharing. This is such an important lesson, more so than for us in the development sector. Things are changing fast and quickly, and we are not sure of how things will be. So while on the other hand, it is good to plan, on the other hand, we also need to be flexible to accommodate changes. Yeah, thank you so much. So in line with that, Adaeze, can you let us know how we as development workers can set realistic goals that consider both professional aspiration and personal well-being? So we're not just, aspiring to aspiring at the detriment of our personal well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. I love what Sarah said as well. Like, what happens when everything turns upside down? So yeah, I love what she was saying about that. Like, also scenario plan if things don't go the way you want. It's really important. Okay. So how can we, I guess, set goals that also align with our organizations and benefit ourselves? I would say the first thing is to know what your organization's goals actually are. Like, what is their vision? What are they trying to achieve over the next 5 years? What are they trying to achieve in the next immediate year? That's the first thing. You need to know, what do they even want, so that you know how to fit into what they want to achieve. That's number one. Then number two, I would say to assess yourself and say, okay, I now know what my organization is looking for. What skills do I have that can support what they're looking for? What strengths do I have? What weaknesses do I have, or what areas of capacity building do I have that I need to go and look for how to develop myself in over the next year, and set goals for that. So for example, maybe your organization wants to become more visible online in 2025. They feel like they're doing great work, but it's just not out there enough. And maybe you personally want to become a better public speaker, for example. You can meet in the middle. They want to become more visible online. You want to speak better publicly. Make goals that's, where you list and say to yourself, I'm going to position myself to help them. I'm going to maybe recommend little video reels that I can do talking about our program impact and the work that we've done, and I can share it on our social media pages. I'm going to ask them for opportunities to speak up in meetings when it comes time to share project impact. I'm going to ask, oh, is there a forum coming up that you want somebody to represent from our organization? Can I go and do it? So if I know that I want to improve as a public speaker, and my organization wants to improve when it comes to visibility and marketing, we can meet in the middle. Quid pro quo. I can scratch their back, and then in a way, they're also scratching my back too. So that's what I would say. I would say, see what they want to achieve. What do you want to achieve? What are your strengths? What are your areas of development? And then set your goals in that way. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for just, shedding light on how, personal and organizational goals can, meet together. And I like the example, scratch my back and scratch your back, scratch mine. So, Sarah, I would want you to speak into this, but I also want you to highlight the place of ensuring that we're maintaining personal well-being.
Yeah. So I would say that it's important that we reflect on 6 areas in our lives, and set very, very, very realistic goals in these 6 areas. One, you want to look at your relationships. They're very important, both relationships at work, and relationships out of work. There was a time in my life where I was so into my relationships at work that I lost touch with every other type of relationship. And it hurt me. Do you understand? It's like outside of work, I didn't have any other friends, but I knew them before I started working. And so it's important that we think about our relationship, your family, how are you treating them? How are you dealing with them? So set little goals, even if it's, I'll call one friend a month or something. So set goals around your relationship. The second for me is spiritual. Whatever you believe in, it's and not to sound like I'm projecting my beliefs, but whatever it is that works for you, it's always good to recognize that there is a power that is higher than you. So whatever that power is to you, I believe that there has to be some sort of recognition of that power, because for me, what that does is that when you're finally grateful, you are able to ascribe that gratitude to that higher being that is in yourself. So it would be ridiculous to sit down and say, myself, thank you for, kind of like that. So focus on what do you want to achieve spiritually. The second is financial. Let's not forget, we say rest, we say relax, but also we have to eat. With our president, it's also not funny, Things are crazy. You go to the market every day, you want to rip your hair out because things are just so difficult. What you bought 1,000 naira yesterday, tomorrow it is 3,000 naira, So we have to also be mindful and prudent and just think about what are my financial goals. The danger, and one of the things that I've realized for myself personally as a development worker, is that I focus so much on getting this my monthly salary that I don't have a side hustle, and that is hurting a lot of us. So even if it is sitting down, putting on a notepad, what things do I like to do outside of development work? Maybe it's baking, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's, writing. How can I start generating small income from that? Pick one thing that you're interested in and start investing. Please let us also be financially knowledgeable and start helping ourselves in that regard. The other one is our physical health. We can never talk enough about physical health. You have to invest in yourself physically. It is very, very key. We have a lot of, I was reading a statistic about the major killer of workers, and it is coronary related conditions. So dealing with our hearts. What does that mean? It means we're not moving a lot. It means we are just on our computers all day and we're not investing in our physical health. So that is very important. The other one, the fifth one, is in our emotional well-being. Our emotional well-being. One of the things that I've learned to do when it comes to rest, reflection, and just relaxation is letting go of things, right? First, forgive yourself. It's hard. I find it hard to forgive myself. It's easier for me to forgive others than it is to forgive myself. But we have to learn to forgive ourselves. Yes, you spoke wrong English in that email and you didn't know, you clicked send. It has passed, it has passed. Do you understand? Yes, you made a mistake. Move on. Do you get it? Forgive yourself and move on. The other thing is forgive others. So if I can quickly share a story, there was a time when a group of colleagues in the office felt that I was discriminating against them, or my actions were not was not helping them. And they made such a big deal out of it. There was a meeting, my boss was there, everything, and they made it really bad. Maybe they felt bad, but I felt really bad. And what I noticed was that over the next 2 weeks, as I'm going to bed, I'm thinking about what had happened. I'm waking up, I'm thinking about what had happened. I'm walking, I'm thinking about what had happened. And it was consuming me. It was really consuming me. And I'll go to the office and I'll see these people, I'll say hi, we'll laugh. Or I will just withdraw from some of them, I'll just withdraw from them and just look at them like, see these ones. Do you understand? But it was affecting me. It was affecting me mentally. It was affecting how I wasn't able to rest. That's how I'll put it. The cheesy way that men used to ask women out back in the day. They say, you must be tired because you have been running on my mind. I hope they've stopped using that line now. But my point is, when you allow people to fester in your head and in your mind, you can't relax, you can't rest. That is what it is. So that's why it's good for us to think about our emotions and how we're able to manage them. I eventually was able to talk to myself and say, Sarah, if you continue like this, you will just crash and burn, you know. So every time the thoughts of what had happened comes, I will stop it. Every time it comes, I'll stop it. And then of course I had to pray for myself because I didn't have the power to do it on my own. And then finally, it is investing in our professional life. Some of us, since we left the university, we have not opened book, and we're proud to say it. No, if whatever it is that you are doing in your field, seek out the knowledge, seek out, if there's a professional exam, do it. If there's somebody that has gone ahead in that field that you look up to, you admire, is either you reach out to the person or you follow their work, read, learn, continue to improve yourself. So I feel that if we sort of set little goals in these 6 key areas, it will help us grow not just as individuals, but also help build our organizations. So it's both professional as well as personal. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful time. Thank you both for sharing from your experiences and your expertise. And thanks, Sarah, for just clearly highlighting those key areas. I hope everyone is taking notes. Adaeze, please, Adaeze has a commitment and would have to leave shortly. But before you leave, Adaeze, can you share what simple, actionable steps that everyone can take right after this webinar to rest, reflect, and recharge effectively? So I'm sure I have my book here, I have my pen and paper. I'm sure everybody still have theirs. We're ready to take on those actionable steps. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Things you can do once you leave here. Okay, well, one of them is actually to use that notebook. It would be like maybe to play instrumental music if you're at home, or if you're about to get off work later on this evening. You can play some instrumental music in the background. You can literally reflect on what you learned today, reflect on just the initial things that come to mind when it comes to what this year has been like for you, and journal it down. Reflect on how you feel, reflect on where you think you did well, where you think you didn't do well, and just journal it down. That could be what you do this evening. The other thing you do is you can choose to hang out with friends. You can choose to, go to maybe an outing that you weren't planning to go to, right? You can choose to do that. You could Netflix and chill. For those who are married, that's what I mean. Netflix and chill. So yeah, you can do that too. You could make it a movie night, you could make it a games night, or you could just have time by yourself. You could literally just warm a plate of food in the microwave, sit with your thoughts, eat the food, listen to music, and just thank God for life, and just decompress. So anything like that would be like an actionable thing you could do today or tonight. Then of course there's also the experience happening in Lagos. So you could also live stream that if you wanted to watch that. It's a music concert.
Thank you so much, Adaeze. There's a question. I don't know if you still have a minute for us.
Yes.
Okay, so Sarah, before I come to you because you are going to give us the closing talk, there's a very important question that was asked here. Please let me just read it, and I want Adaeze and Sarah to speak into it. Sorry, I'm finding it difficult to navigate my wonderful, just a second. Okay, yes. So I know it is easy to assume you can say no without any backlash, right? But we all know a lot of supervisors who don't take being put down so well. What advice would you give to help manage situations where you have a workaholic boss who doesn't take being told no lightly? So I'll start with Adaeze, and then Sarah can wrap it up.
Okay. I love this question because everything sounds good in theory until it's time to put it in practice. Um, I am trusting that Sarah will probably have an answer that's more useful for you. And the reason I say this is because I'm a very interesting kind of person. Like, nothing is do or die for me anymore in life. So, like, I'm willing to walk away from almost anything as long as my peace of mind is intact. So that's the way I'm going to answer you. Like, if I have a manager that is completely unreasonable with me, I've tried to be reasonable. I've tried to communicate how much I'm going to ensure that I deliver my deliverables and still make time for whatever rest I need. If that person just says it's an absolute no for them, like for them it's that I must do or die, I'm not going to die. So I will carry my bag and go. But that's me. That's me. I'm that kind of person. I can just carry that bag and go because nothing is do or die for me. But I would just recommend, in terms of, if that's not the case for you, then I would recommend just, try to develop a good rapport with the manager, try to see, what type of priorities the manager has that you can focus on helping to deliver. Maybe there's some things that aren't even in your work package that maybe you think your skills could actually go towards. Maybe you can offer that in exchange for maybe an additional leave day or an additional rest day or whatever it is you need. So yeah, that's the best I can offer you. And it's unfortunate. I really wish more managers were human in dealing with other human beings. But it's not easy. I've dealt with both the human ones and the ones that are only the Lord knows where they came from. So, so that's the best I can advise you. Just try to negotiate with the manager as much as you can. The only small example I'll give is that there was a direct report that came to me to negotiate mental health days a few years ago. I had never heard of that idea, like being given mental health days as like additional leave days. So he came to me and said, okay, can he have one mental health day a month? That's 12 in a year, right? Already he has leave days, already he has sick days. So, but the reason I didn't even think twice and I said yes is because he's an excellent person. His work was so excellent that only if I am wicked would I not give him what he's asking me for, because his work was so excellent. He's proactive. I could sleep and know that the job is done. I mean, he made me better. I was learning from him some things as well as he learning from me. So please don't go to negotiate when you don't have a leg to stand on. Do your work well. Be somebody that can actually go to negotiate. And then don't get mad if you're not that kind of person and your manager does not want to give you what you're asking for. You need to also be the person that does excellent work, and it should be clear that you do that. Then it's a better leverage that you have for negotiation.
Thank you very much. You started with saying you're not the best person to answer, and you ended very well. Thank you. I pray for the liver to walk away. Sarah, over to you. Thank you, Adaeze.
I don't think it's far from what Adaeze said. It's true. I have a line report who came to me and said, I need a day to do laundry. And I said, fine, take your time. And it just stems from what she said. I know this person. This person is a hard worker. This person gives their all. If for any reason they come and they tell me, I need time to do laundry, I say, go and do your laundry and come back. You know what I mean? So it starts, a lot of the time we forget that one day we'll be line managers, okay? And you have to study your line manager, study the kind of person they are, study how to communicate with them, study how to relate with them. One line manager, you can't outrightly say no. Okay, what you can do is, like you said, negotiate your way, tell them what you have done, tell them why you can't take this on, tell them what you're currently doing. For example, if you say, last week you asked me to do XYZ, this week you asked me to do XYZ, I'm still trying to round up this, I'm trying to round up that, and stuff like that. So put it in a very nice way. And don't meet your line manager when maybe they had just come out of the office of their own line manager and and they had just been, had their, behind handed to them, and they're in a bad mood. Don't do that. Make sure they're in a good mood. Make sure that you speak to them when you see. So study their moods. Know the best time to speak with them. I would say, if you do choose to walk away because you know where you're headed. If, however, you cannot walk away, there are systems within the organization that have been put in place to help you. So for me as a HR person, come to your HR and say, this is the challenge that I'm having. And of course, when you go to HR, make sure you have your evidence. I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. This is this, this is this. They're adding more work to me. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? That is, then you have somebody mitigating. If HR is not your go-to, or you're unable to speak with HR, maybe your line manager's manager. Because some people do tend to have a better relationship with their line manager's line manager, without looking like you're reporting, especially if the person is mature. So let me keep putting all these caveats inside. If the person is mature and you know they're able to handle the situation for you, you say, oh God, this is what is happening, this is it, this is it, this is it, and find help. But I would say do not take on too much, because at the end of the day, you're hurting yourself. To be honest, if anything happens to you, you deal with it on your own. Nobody knows, nobody cares. I don't know if you have heard the story of the lady who died in India. She was working for, maybe not, let me not mention the name of the organization, but she died. And so she got the job, 3 months. She was really excited about it, and she died within 3 months. Why? She was being worked to the bone. She was being worked to the bone. And guess what? Her line managers, nobody from the company attended her funeral. And it was that singular act that got her mother so upset that she wrote an email to the organization and said, you killed my daughter and you didn't even have the decency to show up and pay her your last respect. So I would say use tact, to say no. Understand your line manager and the right time to communicate. But before all of that, it starts with you being an excellent employee. If you're an excellent employee, trust me, your line manager will not joke with anything that concerns you, because they want to keep you. So they will try, they'll pamper you, they'll find a way to keep you in that role. And then have other people within the organization that you can talk to. HR, your line manager's manager. So that's why I'm saying build relationships. Relationships are very key and they're very important in the workspace.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The comment section is buzzing. When Sarah said she wasn't going to say the name of the organization, somebody helped us and said the name. Another person said nobody likes a snitch. But I'm so happy that all of you actually gave options. So it is now left for you to pick the one that works for your context. And I also say, finally, it will end in prayers, because there are some line managers that nothing is going to work. But yeah, good luck. I hope this is helpful. So Adaeze, please, if you want to, you can take your leave. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you. You can go ahead and take your leave. Thank you so much. Okay, people, we are not done yet, because we actually have a packed agenda for you. And I don't know if you saw the email, the reminder that we sent, that you have a chance to win a prize, something from TDC, as a way of saying thank you to you. So please stay tuned. Sarah, now we've had a wonderful time of you just sharing from your wealth of experience. I would want you to give a closing, basically your perspective about the topic, and something that would leave our participants, energized and looking forward to the coming year. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Joby. It's been amazing for me as well, and thank you for having me. Okay, so we have said a lot. We have given you some tips. So I want to leave you with a few thoughts. Well, before then, let me give you a story. So when we were kids, right, my brothers and I, we had a lot of ant colonies in our parents' compound. And each one of us adopted an ant colony. Okay. So we will catch maybe like butterfly, kill the butterfly, come and drop it in front of the ant colony. We'll get broken bottles, break them, and say we're lighting up the colony of our ants and put it, whether it was killing them, we don't even know, just come and put it. And everybody was happy. Then there was this colony that nobody adopted. And for some, I don't know why, I don't know where it started, but we call them greedy, funny ants. I really don't know where the name came from, and I really don't know. And so we used to maltreat those ants. So we'll come in the morning. You know how ants decorate their colony in the morning, especially during the rainy season. You see they build like really nice structures on the outside will come, will scatter it, will carry sticks and poke holes into their colony, will fetch water and pour it inside the colony, and will just be like, oh, did you see this greedy funny ant? He was going to his house, his brother was begging him for food, he refused to give his brother, and then we were just mean to those ants. But there's something about that particular colony. We would scatter their house every day, and the next morning, they have rebuilt. We'll scatter it again. The next morning you come, they have rebuilt. Now, as I was preparing for this, I don't know why I just remembered those ants and how ants behave and how ants are. Now, who is responsible for rebuilding the colony of the ants every single day after we have scattered it? It is the worker ants. Okay? It is the worker ants. But let me tell you one interesting thing that I found when I just Googled worker ants to just learn more about them. And then what I saw really surprised me. So there are two things about worker ants that I saw. But before I run through those two things, let me tell you all the responsibilities that they have. They're responsible for building the colonies. They're responsible for caring for the queen and the young ones. They're responsible for looking for food to feed everybody in the ant colony. They're responsible for cleaning, make sure the colony is clean. They take out the waste and all of that. They're responsible for protecting. So sometimes they help the soldier ants to protect the colony, and then they do policing. So they resolve conflicts within the colony. But I found two very interesting characteristics. The first one is that they are sterile. They are sterile. They don't produce. These people that do all the work, they don't produce nothing. Nothing. So think about it for yourself. You're waking up early in the morning, you're going to work, doing your 9 to 5 and all of that. Apart from the impact that your organization is leaving, think about you as a person. What impact are you leaving? So beyond your work, what else can you do? And the reason why I'm stressing this is that if all you do is just that work, it leaves you little or no time to think about how to add value, how to create things, how to be creative. All you simply become over time is you're just angry, you're tired, you're stressed, you're burnt out. In fact, I saw a quote about burnout. It said that burnout is our bodies forcing us to be human again. So it's very important that as you think about this, you're working nonstop, is that we start to become creatively sterile. Creatively sterile. So think about yourself. What do you want to do? What else do you want to do? And prioritize resting, prioritize reflecting, prioritize planning your time, and prioritize strategizing for your own self as well, not just work nonstop. The second thing that I learned about them is that their worker ants are, each ant colony has a queen. So the role of the queen is determined by the diet, not by genetics. I never knew that. I thought that there was one ant that was usually born to be the queen, but apparently it isn't. Because all the worker ants are female, and the role who gets to become queen is determined by diet, not by genetics. Why is this important? Look at what you're feeding on, right? What are you consuming? What are you doing? How are you positioning yourself? How are you taking rest so that you're productive? How are you being efficient in your work so that it gives you time to do other things? So those are the things that I hope that we're able to, as we leave this place, reflect on. All of us have the opportunity to become kings and queens. The things that we choose to do, how we choose to do them, determines whether we will become workers or not. So I will leave you with this word. Please rest and recharge. It's the perfect time of the year. It's the end of the year. Close this year. It has ended. Start all over again, and make sure that you're intentional about your rest. Thank you.
Wow, Sarah, this is so good. Thank you so much. I love the analogy about the ant. When you started the story, I was like, okay, where is this going? But then you now started hitting the nail on the head. Like, it's so important that we're actually producing something of our own. We actually allocate time for us, to invest in ourselves and produce something. And then also the diets that we feed on, what we feed on determines who we become. And it's so important. Thank you so much. People, everyone here, can you just give me some form of reactions, like to let us know you're here, and fill the chat box and tell the chat box and tell Sarah, thank you. Thank you, Lydia. I can see you've turned on your mic. And also, please, I would like to request that you kindly fill the evaluation form. It helps us in planning better. And your evaluation, like your feedback so far, has really helped us in ensuring that we always, bring value during our webinars. So at this point in time, drum roll, everybody, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. We're going to go to the next session, which is almost like rounding up. I'm going to call on Maureen right now. Maureen is going to take us to the next session. Okay, yes, Sarah, there's also a question for you from Agnes Agbo. So Agnes, I think you can also send her a message through the Zoom this thing. Sarah, I've handed over somebody to you. Maureen, over to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to our wonderful speakers. My God, it has been an insightful session, honestly. A lot of inspirations, words. And, the beautiful thing is that everybody can resonate with whatever speakers we're talking about. Honestly, we need rest. And part of the things that we do in trying to prioritize rest is having fun. And that's why we decided to infuse this quiz session into today's webinar so that we can all relax, have fun, and then you get to gain some knowledge about the development initiative. And this is also a reward session for those of our wonderful participants, our active participants who are club fans, who have been following us from day one to this very moment. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen and then I'll go over the rules of the quiz and how we can all participate. All right, give me some, let me see. I have so many things. I have so many things opened. Oh, give me a minute. Let me clear this first. I'm not going to share it now. All right. Yeah. All right. We're set. Okay. All right. This game is it. Can you see my screen now? If you can see, just let me know if you can see my screen. This game is very simple. We are using Mentimeter, and basically it's for us to understand to weigh your knowledge on the development conversation and also to reward our active participants. So I'm going to share the link. Angel, can you share the link in the chat box? If you can share the link, please let me know. So basically, this is how you're going to play the game. You're going to participate using that link. You click on it, put in your name, and then I'll start the quiz. You have 5 seconds to answer the question. Don't worry, it's not a difficult question. It's not something that you're going to stress your head about. But then you have 5 minutes to answer the question. And the faster you can answer that question, the more you're going to have more points. So it's the fastest finger. So keep your eyes on the screen, and also you have to be very fast with your fingers. Are we good to go? Are we ready? Let me see emojis, please. You guys, see, they call me energy queen for a reason. I don't know how to operate in a dull atmosphere. So please, I want to see emojis. I want to see reactions. All right, are we good to go? Let me know if we are set so that I can start the... All right, yeah.
Yes, we are good to go. The link has been dropped in the chat box. Please, TDC guys, you cannot attend, you cannot participate in this.
Yeah, so please, you cannot allow our active participants to meet. So yeah, All right, if we're good to go, I'm going to start the game now. Please, everybody needs to be on board. Then I start. So I'm going to start now. All right. Wonderful. We have so many players on board. All right, let's go. Oh, sorry. I missed that. Sorry. Oh, give me a minute. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me start all over again. But just hold on. Mother Adaeze said mistakes, we are allowed to make mistakes, so I'm not going to stress my head. All right, okay, I have this thing blocking my view here. Let me see if I can move it. All right, let's go. Answer fast to get more points. What was the title of the first edition of the development conversation? Let's go. Yeah, the answer is beyond the project outcome. Is our work meaningful? Let's move on to the next question. All right, I have 14 players ready. Okay, let's go. The question is, on what date was the first edition of TDC held? You have 5 seconds to answer this. Yeah, the answer is June 28th. All right, let's move to the next question. I have 15 players on board. Let's go. All right, is Mr. Olumide Frederick Adetiba, was it the first speaker of the first edition? Let's go. This is a true or false question, by the way. All right, we have 2 people. Okay. We have the beautiful Adaeze. Yeah. All right, let's see the question. Let's go. Nwanyibuife Adaeze, is she the only speaker who has been invited twice? If you don't get this question. Hi. True. We have 7 correct answers. Let's go. All right, I have 14 players on board. Let's go. Staying power, maintaining relevance and impact in development work. Was it the title of the last or the previous? Sorry, I have something blocking my screen here. Okay, true. We have 4 correct answers. Okay. Let's go. Who is the convener of TDC? Ha! Is it Malama? Let's go. Oh, yes. I can't believe this. Let's go. Okay, let's go. All right. How many editions of TDC? Angel mentioned this at the beginning. So if you pay me that, how many seconds there? Oh, I'm sorry. I think this is the wrong answer. This is like a bonus point. This is a bonus point. Let's move on to the next question. All right. Let's go. What are the social media handles of development conversation? We need to know this. I made the 60 seconds so that you can take your time to give the answer. Actually, it's a mistake from my end. But then you have enough time to pick the right answer. So please look at it carefully because this is dicey. why the time is longer. You have to look at it. Okay. Calm down, calm down. 14, 13. Yeah. All right. You have 5 correct answers. And now, the winner is. Oh my God. Who is our winner? Lydia! Lydia is our true fan. Well done, Lydia. Well done. You have 5,798 points.
Thank
Well
you,
done,
thank you,
Lydia.
thank you, thank you,
We'll
thank
reach out
you.
to you for your prize. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now and turn this off. Give me it, honestly. Yeah.
Well done, well done. This is so well done. And Maureen, I was so excited. I started feeling bad that I should have participated so I'll be the winner. And we have somebody, a first timer, David Kama. Thank you so much for joining. He said he needs to follow us for the next one. So you guys just stay tuned for more fun activities subsequently. Maureen, kindly get the information from Wabani, Justina, and Lydia, and then we can find ways to reach out to them. Thank you once again. Everyone, we have come to the end of the development conversations, and what a journey this, just give me a minute. Yeah, and what a journey this has been. You all have been with us from the 28th of June 2024. You believed in us. You made sure that you attended. You participated. You even made sure that you raised awareness about these webinars. And we want to thank each and every one of you. I don't know if my team is here, starting from Ella, Favor, Maureen, Angel. If you can just quickly turn on your video so that also the people can see the house or the power engines behind the development conversations. So yes, Antel, thank you. Antel has been one of our major supporters also all the way from the United Kingdom. So maybe we would have something there sometime soon. All right. Thank you once again, everyone. Is it fine? Those that can turn on their cameras, we turn on their cameras so that we can take a very quick picture. Yes, if you can take a very quick picture with people that are able to turn on their cameras. If not, yes, thank you so much for indulging me. Thank you. I can see, yes, Lydia, Antel, yeah, who else will be able to do that? So I'm going to just quickly take a quick screenshot. Christopher. All right, so let me just, yes, I'm going to quickly take a screenshot just to take our final webinar. Thank you once again, everyone. And I wish you all a very good holiday. Please, let's take all the lessons that we have learned. All right, thank you, everyone. This is bye from us from the Development Conversations. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toby. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fill the survey form, please.
Thank you, Toby. Kindly share the meeting, please. If recordings of the meeting. Thank you.
Yes, we'll do that. You'll receive an email with the recordings of the meeting. And please follow us on our social media, the Development Conversations. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, and then also we're setting up our Twitter or X account. So please follow us and engage with us. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, team. Well done. Maureen, your excitement was amazing. Let me stop recording. Are you sure you
Yeah.
want to stop recording to the cloud? You will receive an email when the
Woo.